The thinking patterns of these individuals are so completely different from the way that most think. Literally trying to grasp anything that they do out of the same thought process that you would go about anything else will not work ever. And why, when either dealing with a narcissist, trying to heal and move on from a relationship with them, and most importantly, protect yourself from the torment, it is crucial to know the process and patterns to how they think, because it is through this that guides their behaviors. And the only way to being able to make any kind of sense of anything pertaining to narcissists without driving yourself insane, let alone be able to keep yourself safe. And hands down, getting a grasp on this truly is the key to understanding narcissists or narcissistic psychopaths. So put your seatbelts on and off we go into the disturbing mind of the narcissist, which really comes down to 5 thinking patterns. However, thing you want to remember, the starting point as well as the ending point of any line of thought that goes through their head all comes back to seeing to it, this delusional perception, seeing themselves as the creme de la creme, remain intact, and where all roads lead in the mind of a narcissist. 1, I am the best and only being of importance, which can be translated in all areas, subject matters, situations, and circumstances in their life. Be that they are the best looking one out of all of their siblings, the most intelligent person in their company, the coolest cat at the party, the best dancer on the floor, or the best lay that you've ever had, regardless if they actually are or not, and or supporting proof to the contrary. It doesn't matter. A narcissist will not see it otherwise, and or find a way to one-up you, completely rip the rug of achievement right out from you, and take full credit as if they were the one who did all of the work, or go about different ways to sabotage others' chances of success to prevent them from looking better. But the key point about this particular thought pattern is that though this is their way of making sure that this wonderful, powerful, most superior being on the planet mask remain in place, that is essentially like a security blanket, so to speak, that was originally adapted to prevent them from feeling whatever unwanted feelings or insecurities that they didn't want to feel, regardless of what they were or how it was acquired. But this took place so far back that it is no longer even remembered by the narcissist as to why it was adapted in the first place. But furthermore, stunting their development and skewing their sense of self in that they don't have one. And because of this, in turn, they also have no sense of other. Now, obviously, they recognize other human beings as walking, talking, breathing beings and don't see you as like a piece of plastic. But as far as being someone with their own identity, uniqueness, values, beliefs, feelings, opinions, doesn't mean diddly to the narcissist. And in that regard, they are, in their eyes, the only one in the universe and or has any importance, which directly ties in to their next pattern and way of thinking. 2, I am perfect or I am a disaster. The narcissists are people of the extremes. Everything is viewed on one end of the extreme or the other. There's no such thing as middle ground or average quo, and why their opinion of you can change on the drop of a dime. 1 minute, they just can't get enough of you and you are all sorts of lovely, and then suddenly, almost as if out of nowhere, you have become public enemy number 1, yet for the life of you, truly have no idea why or what the F that you did. But what really makes this black and white mentality a problem, not to mention dangerous, it's not just how narcissists see everything or everyone else, they see themselves in the same way. And they can't exactly be better than sliced bread and a crouton at the same time. And because all roads must end up with there being the cream of the crop, there being a disaster isn't an option. So they, at all times, must be seen and perceive themselves as being nothing short of perfection. Trying to get them to reconsider is completely futile because, again, their skewed concept of others makes your opinion completely arbitrary and unwanted. To a narcissist, the world is as they define it. And in their mind, their opinions may as well be written in the Holy Grail. And this ties into the third thought pattern. You are with me or you are against me. Everyone and everything gets divided, some to which will provide them a service, protect their image, and those that are against them, or AKA see through their bullshit, qualify as losers or enemies, and will do whatever it takes to keep the threat of these enemies at bay. But because they have no emotional regulation and see things in the extremes, it doesn't exactly take a whole lot to become one of the losers or enemies. Many times this threat is merely just perceived in their mind. Once you're there, they are going to proceed to take you out, setting up booby traps for you to fall into, using reactive abuse to try to gain false proof to show to others to back up these smear campaigns. Once again, so this road will go back to this delusional image of being more almighty than God, which takes us to thought process number 4. The only truth is their truth, and will not let any objective truth get in the way of their view of the world and how they define it. Everything in their eyes is their delusional perceptions and interpretations of events that they have altered, adjusted, twisted, or bent to fit this delusional image of themselves that, to the average person, most wouldn't consider something to be true if reality was altered, bent, twisted, or distorted to get there. But for a narcissist, it is this black and white mentality of they're constantly needing nothing short of perfection. So not only are they better, stronger, faster, smarter, and more powerful than all, but they are also always right. Having this sense of entitlement and truly seeing themselves as the only person that matters. The things that they do to sabotage, manipulate, deceive, and hurt others in their eyes what they deserve, which takes us to thought process number 5. I don't give a fuck about you. And that goes across the board. Be that their parent, their child, their spouse, their coworker, their friend, or bank teller. They do not give a single fuck about anybody but themselves, because without having any self-awareness, some true sense of self or sense of others, it takes empathy, object constancy, whole object relations, intersubjective understanding, and put them straight into the wood chipper because they are not going to apply. They literally can't without being able to distinguish or seeing others as their own entity. And what seals the deal on why these individuals are so dangerous, because they do not have an ounce of remorse, guilt, nor do they have any mercy for you. They have no red light or filter and can seriously hurt you, as well as what makes it impossible to try to resolve a conflict with a narcissist, because they have no desire or are going to see your perspective, change their mind, or see themselves as being unreasonable. They won't, nor do they care and will not skew from this, because they are ego-satanic and they do not see themselves as being the problem. Trying to get them to retrospect or truly have honest self-awareness is but a pipe dream. They will absolutely find something to push the blame, project, or deter from them at all times. And if you aren't on board, well, then you are the enemy, and they are going to take you out. And there's no way around it. And though knowing what they do is important in keeping you safe, but thinking for a second that you're going to make this work, beware. And be fully prepared at all times. Do as they say with a smile on your face and in a timely fashion. Be prepared to assume the role of the permanent fault taker for all of their own doings, failures, as well as any intentional and deliberate things that they do to you. They are going to see to it that you earn your keep. However, you will not be privy to or entitled to any of your earnings. You will be expected to learn to jump high, jump fast, jump far, and jump swiftly, but realize that even if you get to the point that you are able to outjump a fucking kangaroo, it is not going to meet their expectations. Be willing to accept with open arms any and all of their insults, degrading remarks, backhanded compliments, unnecessary criticism, put-downs, as well as disappointment and not coming through with their promises. Be grateful and thank them often for their generosity, despite there being a string attached to anything that they give you, as well as honored to have the privilege to even but be in the same room and breathe the same air that they breathe. Do not complain of unfairness. Do not question their rules, regardless if and when the rules change without notice, and failure to comply will result in outlandish punishments by means of silent treatment or other forms of psychological torture, and are much easier to follow if you just go ahead and let go of all hopes and dreams for better days to come. But on second thought, tell them to go fly a metal kite in a thunderstorm, eat slugs, or fuck off, because there literally is no way to have a happy home or happy life being involved with a narcissist. You would be better off sitting in a corner with a goldfish or a puppet than staying with these deplorable meat sacks. So fight for you. Save you. Focus on you. Fuck the narcissist.